Hello and welcome back to Dad Got This, and today we are going to put the Ninja Woodfire oven to the test and attempt to make a New York pizza. Well, a New York style pizza, because you are never going to get a real New York pizza unless you're in New York City, because who's going to yell at you and tell you to get off the street or ask you what you're looking at while you're eating your pizza? It's not going to happen. Real New York pizza, only in New York. We're going to try to make something that's close to a New York pizza. Let's get to it. I have already done a full unboxing and first cook on this unit. Went fantastically. We made a margarita pizza, came out great. But I wanted to tackle a real New York style pizza, which is totally different than the pizza that I made in the first one. Plus, I did a quick version of a pizza. I didn't tell you guys really how to make the dough or how to make the sauce. So we're gonna do a full pizza breakdown. I love making homemade pizzas. I've been making homemade pizzas at home for many years. I have a big giant piece of steel that I stick in my oven that I use to cook my pizzas on. It does a pretty good job, but this thing blew it away. The extra flavor from the burning of the wood and the extra temps and the stability of it, just so much better. I got such a better crust on my pizza. Amazing. Forget about all that. Let's just get into it. Okay, New York style pizza. There are some definite differences. I'm using a different dough than I used last time and a different sauce. Let's make the sauce first. For my other pizzas, I use a no-cook pizza sauce. It's a really simple sauce. I'll throw the link in the description. It's very, very, very similar to this. The only difference is you don't have to cook it. You just blend everything up, good to go. The New York style pizza sauce, you need a thicker, chunkier sauce. It's just the way their pizzas are made. So to do that, we're gonna have to cook it and reduce it down. That's why we're starting the sauce first, because it's gonna take a while for it to reduce. You're gonna need a blender or a food processor. I'm gonna use my blender. Get yourself a can of 28-ounce San Marzano tomatoes. I really prefer San Marzano tomatoes. They have a better flavor to me. I've done some back-to-back taste tests, and I really can tell the difference. I do like this Flora brand. They're available in my supermarket, and they're not too expensive. One thing I do wanna say, if you're looking for tomatoes and you can't find this brand, just make sure you find one that doesn't have citric acid listed in the ingredient list. They add that as like a preserver, but it throws off the flavor. You want one that has San Marzano peeled tomatoes, San Marzano tomato juice. That's it. That is all that is in this can, and that is all that we want. So we're gonna open this sucker up, and it is gonna go juices and all right in the blender. And we're just gonna blend this up till it's nice and smooth. 30 seconds, a minute, whatever it takes for your blender to make a nice smooth mixture. Grab yourself a saucepan and we'll put it over some medium heat. We're gonna add a tablespoon of unsalted butter and a tablespoon of a good extra virgin olive oil. Now we're gonna get ourselves 2 good cloves, nice big ones, of garlic, peel them, and we're gonna grate them in there with a microplane. This is really gonna punch up that garlic flavor. It really releases all the oils from the garlic. Mine weren't quite big enough. I'm gonna go 3. I really like garlic. We're gonna add a teaspoon of dried oregano, a tablespoon of granulated onion, a teaspoon of sugar, and a pinch of black pepper. We're just gonna cook this for a little bit so that everything gets mixed up and the garlic starts to brown a little bit. Just a minute or 2. Just enough to kind of like release all those oils and such into the garlic, and everything gets smelling nice. You'll know it's working. At this point, we can put in a pinch of salt. All right, I got a nice browned looking garlic. I don't want it to burn. In go our tomatoes. Give it a stir. Reduce your temperature down to low just so you have some tiny little bubbles happening. You just want a very slow simmer. And we have one more ingredient to get. A couple of sprigs of fresh basil and the stems. We're just gonna throw it right in there, whole like that, because we're gonna fish them out later. They're really just there to flavor the sauce. You don't want chunks of basil in your sauce for this one. And you're gonna wanna let this simmer for about an hour, stirring it occasionally just so it doesn't burn on the bottom until it reduces by half.
You enjoying this video? Well, there's a few simple things you can do to help me out. 1, you could subscribe if you're not already. 2, you could give the video a like and hit that bell. All right?
Next up on the list is some dough. We are gonna make a New York style pizza dough using some 00 pizza flour, using a recipe I found online that I modified slightly because I don't know, I wanted to use the mixer a lot more than they did. This is a New York pizza dough recipe from Bring All the Bits. I haven't used it before, but looked about right. We'll give it a shot. In my opinion, when you're making pizza, you gotta use double O pizza flour. There's just something special about it. The way the proteins and the glutens and all the different stuff works out. I have been using pizza dough from my local Publix thinking, this is great, it's working good. It is so much easier to work with the dough that I made from this than it is to work with the Publix pizza dough, and it tasted better. I'm never going back. I'm always making my own dough using pizza flour. When baking, I like to use a kitchen scale and measure things out by weight instead of cups, but if you want to use cups, you can. It's 4 cups of flour or 480 grams. Now we need 300 grams of warm water. It has to be between 110 and 115 degrees. This is very important for activating your yeast. That's about 10 5/8 fluid ounces. Let me go get my water. It is 117, 118 degrees, which is perfect. We need 300 grams of it. In our mixing bowl, we are going to add half of this water. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of sugar. My water cooled down. I got to get a little bit of water to tepid it up. Got my kettle here. Give it a stir. 117. That is going to be good. That'll cool down right to about our 110 to 115. Your water has got to be hot enough to activate your yeast. And then we need 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast. If you don't know if your yeast is good or your water temperature was right and you're worried about it not being active, you can wait 10 minutes and you'll notice everything's going to start getting foamy, and that's how you're going to know that your yeast is active. The sugar's feeding the yeast is eating off of that, and it's going to start bubbling. Then you're 100% sure your dough's going to come out. If you're willing to risk it and guess that you got the water right and your yeast is good, you could skip that step. For this one, I'm going to wait and we'll make sure that this bubbles just so that we know we did it right and so you guys can see what it looks like. Now it's only been a few minutes, I don't know, 3, and it's already bubbling. I know this yeast is active. That's how it's supposed to look. Once you get that, you're good to go. You don't need to wait a full 10 minutes. We know that this yeast is active. We can go ahead and add in all our flour, 2 teaspoons of salt, and about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. We mix it together in the bowl. Pardon this. This is the easiest way for me to show you this while still filming. We're going to mix it together until it forms what you call a shaggy dough. Now, at this point, you don't need to use the mixing attachment to do this. You just kind of want to do this with a fork. Get it to form kind of together into a ball, because we haven't added all our water yet. And the temperature of that water does not matter at the moment. And honestly, the amount of that water does not matter. We're really just trying to make this kind of incorporate into something that resembles dough. Something that's not going to be too sticky on your hands, that you could kind of work with and knead on a cutting board if you wanted to. Now, I don't know why you would do that if you have one of these. We're looking for something like this, a shaggy dough, a dough ball that'll kind of stay in your hand, not be too sticky, just like that. Now, grab yourself your dough hook. Throw it in there like that. Pop it down into your dough. Lock your mixer. And we are going to do this on about 1 or 2 setting. Your mixer might bounce around. We'll see how it goes. And you're going to add some water until it makes a nice smooth dough. And you're going to knead it for about 10 minutes. You're just going to let this thing do its thing for about 10 to 12 minutes. And as you can see, mine's a little bit dry. So I'm going to add a little bit of water. Get in there with my hands a little bit. And I want this a little bit wetter for my kneading process with the hook. And it'll dry up as it goes. I think I went a little too far with the water. And now I need to add a little bit of flour. I was probably good where I was the first time. Just needed a splash, but a little bit too much water kind of bounced in there on me. You want the dough to be able to grab the hook and start kind of bouncing around in there. Now we're starting to get there. A little bit more flour, I think. There we go. See how it's kind of picked up and grabbed itself to the hook? That's what you want. Once it's done that, you can kind of let it do its thing. Check on it every once in a while. You might have to hold. You might have to hold your mixer down. It's going to be a little bouncy. And get it back to that 2 setting and just let her bounce around and do its thing. While this is doing its thing, just wanted to ask you a question. What kind of person doesn't like pizza? A weirdo. Weirdo. Once your dough has kneaded for about 10 minutes, and you should have a nice smooth dough that doesn't really stick to your hands, just nice pliable dough. What are we gonna do with it? You're gonna get yourself a nice bowl. In that bowl, we are gonna take and we're gonna put a little bit of olive oil. We're gonna take our nice smooth dough, form it into a nice round ball. And you just kind of do that by taking your hands, cup your hands, push it down. And if you do it right, you're gonna get like something that's got a nice smooth top on it, looks like round. And you're gonna put it in here in your nicely oiled bowl. If it's got a lid, great. If not, cover it with some saran wrap or like a moist towel. After you've covered it and put it in your bowl, we're gonna let this rest at room temperature for 2 hours. Now, I have already done all of these steps and I have ready to go pizza dough. So I'll explain the rest of the steps and not have to show them exactly for you because we don't need to go through all that. But you're gonna rest your dough for 2 hours, room temp. After the dough has rested for 2 hours, you're gonna take it out of the bowl. You're gonna punch it. You're just gonna hit it with your fist, punch it out, and then you're gonna put it back into a ball. After you've all punched it out, put it back into a nice bowl and cut it into 4s. Get yourself a cookie sheet. Rub it with a little bit of olive oil and put your pizza dough on there. Dust them with a little bit of flour on the top and then cover it with some cling wrap. This is going to set overnight. Now this can go for up to, I don't know, a couple days. I've heard people will set them out and they say it tastes even better. You can also put these in the fridge for up to 3 days and it makes the dough better. Now these went overnight and it's midday right now. Look how big they've already spread out. We'll have to reform these. And that's it. That's how you make your own amazing pizza dough. Now, mine have re-risen again, I guess. Take your pizza dough, roll it in your hands, and like I said, you stretch and you roll. You stretch and you roll, stretch and you roll, stretch and you roll, and then you will get what resembles a ball. And my dough has gotten a little sticky overnight, so we're gonna be adding some flour to it. Time to go ahead and start working with our dough, and we're gonna head and preheat our wood fire oven. For today's cook, I decided to go with some oak pellets. I think oak will add a nice flavor to the pizza. We'll go ahead and tilt out our hopper here. These pellets are from a company called Kona. I get them on Amazon. They're about 36 bucks for 4 2-pound bags. If you'd like to get some of these, I'll throw a link down in the description. Fill your hopper, do the dad shake. Probably does absolutely nothing. Throw that back in there. And let's move around to the front and get this set up for pizza. I have my Ninja pizza stone in there, which is very dirty on one side, which you can then flip over and use the other side. And then the back side should get cleaner as it cooks, they say. I did buy a pizza scraper and a brush to try and clean this. I'll report back and see how that works when I get it. But for now, we're gonna use the clean side. Okay, we're gonna turn the first dial on to pizza, and then you select your pizza type by selecting this little dial here. You can go through all the different ones. We're gonna go to New York style, which sets it to 475 degrees Fahrenheit. Now you'll notice that this is not lit up. So we want that lit up, which means we're gonna get wood fire flavor, we're gonna burn our pellets, we're gonna get smoke. Hit start. The manual says we get 8 to 10 minutes of preheat on this, so that's how long we have to hopefully wait until that happens. We should be ready to make a pie. Let's grab one of these dough balls. That one looks good. A little bit of flour on our working surface and our dough. Nice soft dough. And we're just gonna work it with our hands into kind of a semicircle. And then you wanna push out with your fingers and start getting it into a round. Is this 100% the best way to make a pizza? I don't know. This is the way I make pizzas at home and they come out pretty good. Yeah. A little more flour. Always want to have a well-floured surface. Okay, at this point, we should be able to hit it with our rolling pin. And a New York style pizza has a pretty thin crust. Not super thin, but pretty thin. And you can always do the old pizza man stretch, where you get it between your two knuckles and just kind of give it a little bit of a stretch. And that'll help kind of give it that little stretch there. Now I might have stretched it too much in the middle there, and you don't want to give yourself any holes. Holes are terrible. It's not perfectly round, but I'm okay with that. You are going to need a pizza peel. Ninja sells one. I got this one off of Amazon. This works perfect for me. We are at perfect timing because our sauce just hit an hour and it should be reduced down nicely. Let's take a look at it. It has reduced into a nice thick sauce and it's gonna work perfectly on our pizza. Now this will store in your fridge for about 2 weeks and you're gonna wanna fish that basil out before you use it. You don't put the basil on the pizza. But I'm not gonna make the mistake that I made in my last pizza video where I built my pizza on my pizza peel before this came up to temp. And then it took longer than expected and my pizza started sticking to my pizza peel and I had to do the pizza dance. And it wasn't fun. So we're gonna wait till this actually says that it's ready to go before I put my pizza on here. While we're waiting, it'll give me some time to tell you that Ninja sent me this pizza oven. I didn't have to pay for it. I don't have to send it back. However, they don't get any input on any of my videos. I'm not a paid Ninja ambassador. I just really happen to like their products. And I've been making a lot of videos with them because they've been working really well for me and I enjoy them. So there are links down below if you wanted to purchase your own Woodfire oven. I'll throw a coupon down there if I get a chance. If there's an active one, sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. And I'll throw it down there. If I find a great deal somewhere else, I'll even throw it down there also. They will be affiliate links. They do help me out if you use them. I appreciate it. It helps the channel. All right, just wanted to let you guys know that up front. Let's hope this thing comes up to temp soon because I would like to eat some pizza. We are finally ready to make pizza. It took over 20 minutes to preheat. The guide says 10. I don't know if it's added time due to the fact that I added the wood fire pellets, but factor that in if you are planning to make yourself a pizza. It took 20 minutes to preheat to the New York pizza setting. I have a little handy dandy laser temp gun. I want to see something. What temp are we reading? Our pizza stone is only about 300 degrees. Now this is supposed to be 475 degrees. Most of the time when you do something with like a pizza stone or something, you really want to heat soak them for like an hour or something, really get them hot. So I don't know if that's going to be a factor with something like this. We're going to try it right now when it says it's ready to cook. A little bit of flour. Always build your pizza on the peel. Don't build it on the board and then try to transfer it to the peel. Rookie mistake. Get ourselves a nice scoop of sauce here. Now, you want sauce on there, but you don't want too much sauce. New York pie has the right balance of sauce to dough to cheese. It's not an overly saucy pie. That looks good to me. A nice light coating of sauce. Low moisture mozzarella cheese. That is your cheese for New York pizza. It's gonna melt the best. It's gonna give you that New York taste. Generous with the cheese. you have a little spatula or something, that way you can kind of pull this out, make it a little easier on yourself. See that slide? You want that slide. Once you know you got the slide, you can go ahead and get her on the stone. Boom. Close her up. And we're going to hit start. According to this, we got 8 minutes to wait for a New York pie. Let's see how it goes. If this worked right, we only have to make one pizza today. If it didn't, I got more dough. I think we have less than a minute left. Let's go ahead and get ready to... Ha! I am Pizza Man. Now, so we got a burnt pizza. Now, I followed their instructions to a T for cooking this pizza, and that is burnt. So we're gonna have to make some adjustments to their timing. I mean, it's not horrible. I wanna check the undercarriage. I'm always interested in the undercarriage. Did we get, see in that, we didn't even get a really good undercarriage. It's not fully cooked. I'm not really happy with the way that cooked. The best way that I got the pizza to cook before was I cooked them at the 700 degree temp real quick. I didn't use the New York setting. I'm gonna use the 700 degree setting. Might take me another 30 minutes to set this thing up to preheat, but let's go ahead and set it up for 700 degrees. I am interested to at least cut into this and see if it is cooked all the way through. It is cooked. I like my pizza. A little bit of pecorino romano, a little crushed red pepper. Let's at least, so there's what you get if you do the New York pizza setting, following all of their instructions. All right, let me take the least burnt piece I have. Now, very unhappy with this undercarriage compared to the one I got on my margarita pizza. I have no browning under there, no color, very poor. And that actually looks to be raw. The sauce and the dough are good. The execution of the pie, not good. I don't put that on me. Put that on this one. Lucky I got 3 more dough balls over there. We're gonna get this right. All right, we're preheated to 700. Let's make another pizza. We're now at 700 degrees. At 700 degrees, it says it takes 3 minutes. We're gonna check this in about a minute and a half, see how it's looking. All right, we're halfway through. We're gonna let that finish, and I think that's gonna be much better. Now that was about 230. We did start getting a little bit of extra browning on the top. Not burnt yet. Let's check the undercarriage. Ah, see, we're starting to get that New York style undercarriage. Yes, browned on the undercarriage. That is what you want. I don't think that 450 gets the pizza stone hot enough to really brown the undercarriage like you want. Now, our dough's a little bit puffy. Let's give it a cut and see what it looks like. Nice thin exterior there. See? Crisp. Way too hot for me to eat that pizza right now. I got more dough. I want to try to roll a really thin one and see what it looks like when we get it in the oven. Get it in the oven. All right, right at 2 minutes, we're starting to get that burnt cheese. So we're gonna pull this bad boy. So it is something about that low moisture mozzarella and this oven that it browns quickly. What does our undercarriage look like? We got the color. All right, we're gonna set this one aside. We'll give this one a try first. I like the undercarriage, looks pretty good. There you go. That's New York Pizzeria pizza. That might be the right thickness, actually. Let's try super crisp. One slice out of this that looks like a New York pie. There you go. New York slice. It's okay, it's got a little bit of flaky. Everybody knows the rules. One bite. Okay, it's pretty good. I'd give it a solid 8.4. It's actually a really good slice of pizza. I think the dough that I made, if you are making this, give it a try with this dough. See how you like it. If you don't, I'd say give it a try with the Neapolitan style pizza dough. Or if you have a go-to pizza dough for New York style pizza, let me know. I'm willing to give it a try. This one wasn't perfect yet. So I guess I'm still on the hunt for the perfect New York pizza dough. If this YouTube thing doesn't work out, I was thinking of getting a job as a pizza maker because I really need the dough. That's it. It's been a long day of making pizzas. Dad may be hungry for pizza, not hungry for pizza, not knowing who he's doing it all, but Dad doesn't do outros. So that's it. Bye.
If you enjoyed that video, why not throw Dad a good old like and subscribe and do the notification thing, or leave me a comment about what your favorite part of this video was. That would really help Dad out, and you can go check out one of these other videos. I'm sure they're fantastic. I mean, I made them, so I'm pretty sure they're fantastic. All right. Yeah, do that stuff.